Welcome back, everybody. Clint today with Classic Firearms here on another Monday night live stream. And yeah, I know, you guys are definitely already in the comments. I'm a few minutes late here. My bad. Had to take care of some things, family first. All right. So my bad, but let's go ahead and hop into it. As you guys can see already, we're talking about. Oh, and of course, I left my number one up on the corner instead of where is it at over here? Oh my gosh, I wonder if I can change how the presenter looks, because that just looks like crap, you know what I mean? Oh well, I might just leave it there. It is what it is. But ultimately, this is typically whenever I'm about to film a video for Classic, I'll have StreamYard up as a way to make sure the picture looks good, and then I'll have it, camera one or whatever, just down there, and I forgot to put my headline in the name today. Whatever. Who cares? So anyway, already starting off with the anyway train, just wanted to go ahead and kick this week off with exactly like what the title says, vehicle loadout. What is too much? So you guys go ahead and get your typical comments in and everything. And with that, I also want to see, well, maybe not see, but I also want to hear about your vehicle loadout. Is a rifle, a backup pistol, because you should have your EDC or CCW on you? Is a rifle, a backup pistol, a backpack with all sorts of goodies? Should that be in your car? Obviously not without you in it. So that begs the question, if you go into a office and you want to keep all your stuff on you because you don't want to leave any guns out in the car, how do you carry that, right? I know Eberly Stock has some pretty cool bags and everything that you can hide some rifles in. There's all sorts of different options out there. But for me, my commute is usually to where I'm going to be exercising my Second Amendment right. So my guns stay with me all the time, right? So I'm not too upset about that. So let me know what you guys think. And of course, to kick this off as well, I want to let you guys know that super chats are always welcomed and appreciated. I see a lot of comments popping off the corner of my eye as it is already. But of course, if you want them to show up nice and bright and flashy, well, super chats are where it's at, so I can actually get to your comment. All right. By the way, if you guys tuned in for our live stream last week, it was me and the team. It was really off the cuff. Kyle wanted to go live. Whatever, I'm like, okay, we'll go live. And we were out behind enemy lines in California. We were out there with my buddy Lex from Three Teeth, the industrial metal band. Awesome music. Check them out. We were out there shooting at Taryn Butler's range. We have a pretty cool collaboration coming with you guys. And a couple of other just people that you don't really know that are into guns just automatically just start randomly popping up at Taryn's range. It's crazy. There's other musicians, actresses, singers that came, it was really cool. We can talk about that experience here in just a little bit. But with that, let's go ahead and get to some of y'all's comments. All right. Because I know you guys are probably eager to, talk some shit to me or something like that or whatever. Oh, and I know a few of you are probably asking what I'm drinking tonight. Water. I need to hydrate. This past week, we did enough, our fair share of drinking. So I want to get back into the gym and not feel completely dehydrated. So H2O for the win. All right, sweet. Oh, man, I need that so bad. My organs are celebrating right now. Okay, let's hop into this. Already kicking it off with a super chat over here from, it's our dear friend Otter over here. Otter, good to see you. Thank you so much. Hiya, Clint. Just got back from a week in Arizona, and I really want to live there. How should I keep myself and my household worth of stuff safe with me in the vehicle for the trip there? So there's options you have here, Otter. First of all, good to see you again, and thank you for the super chat. Always appreciate you. And we're talking about driving with, I don't know how much you'll be driving with. I know you love your Sons of Liberty Gun Works, but in my mind, what I typically like to travel with, I've got Pelican cases that've got master locks on them. I've got a roof rack on my 4Runner that I'll throw a Pelican case with locks, with ratchet straps, and keeping all that there. And typically, if I stop anywhere on road trips, I've got the vehicle pretty well locked down. Like, I've got either eyes on it, like if I'm, just stopping into like a Waffle House or something, and I park in a very visible spot. And of course I have my, EDC, CCW on me. And on top of that, locks on everything, locks on top of locks. And that's something I think, that at least slows somebody down. And if you got a giant Pelican case, let's say they even break your windows to get into your vehicle, and that now all of a sudden they have to get the Pelican case out, right? So it would just be a pain in the ass for a criminal to try to get to your stuff. So I don't know what kind of vehicle you have. That's ultimately why I went with the 4Runner also, because I was looking at a Tacoma. But as much as I love pickup trucks, I just didn't want to have the open back to deal with. And I really like the fact that the 4Runner still had the roll down back window. The cool factor is high there. I'm just saying. So that's that, right? But let me make sure I got ultimately to your question, Otter. How should I keep myself and my household worth of stuff safe with me in the vehicle for the trip up there? Stay strapped and keep your straps locked up. I think that's probably the best way of going about it yourself. When I made, a long distance move, I had the U-Haul fully loaded with all sorts of goodies and made that trip, and I had a gun on me, and that's that, just everything else stayed locked up. So there you go. Great. And we've got another one here from Joe. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you again, Otter. My name's Joe. Joe is me. Joe is who I am. All right, Joe. Sounds good, bro. Awesome. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And let's get over here to a couple of the live chats. I did see this one that really came in. Casey Hogue, nice try, Fed Boy, talking about vehicle loadout stuff. I think you got me confused with somebody else on the channel. I'm just throwing that out there because that ain't me. That ain't me at all right? So, oh well. Tanner, wish I would have seen last week with the whole team. Missed out on a good one. That was a fun little live stream. We were all just hanging out there, and God bless Lex. This man made steak 3 nights in a row out on the grill, and it was great. It was awesome. It was a good time, and we spent a lot of money on steak in the state of California. And yeah, behind enemy lines, it was quite the experience. That I will say the least. Had a great time out there. Made some awesome connections, and I think you guys are really going to appreciate the conversations and the content that come from this trip. One of which, probably the most special contact and podcast we recorded, was with Vince Ritchie. And if you guys know the name, you've obviously been keeping up with the news and anything 2A related, because Vince was the individual that was recently in a shootout in his own backyard, right actually in the threshold of his doorway, after coming home from work, against 2 armed attackers, and he drew his CCW and handled business. It's still under investigation, so we're not able to talk about really finite details, but we do hear a lot of an incredible story coming from Vince, and it's something I think it's going to be released this week. I think Wednesday, I think, is the release date for that podcast. It's spicy, it's good, and I think you guys are really going to appreciate it too. All right, and yeah, so it's cool. AK all day. It's a local favorite, but in Kentucky, I find a lot of people and myself that enjoy using a Mossberg 590 Shockwave for a truck gun. 12 gauge shotguns for a truck gun. I'm not against it, The way I look at truck guns, vehicle loadouts, things like that, are simply get me home, right? Get me home to get to the armory, to get to my family and loved ones. To make sure that they're safe and protected, and I can go into defense mode with them, right? So that's pretty much how I feel about that there, all right? Micah Raleigh, this should be a good video. Can't wait to see what I'm missing. Almost everything. Nah, I don't think so, man. Can we just say I'm missing in my truck? Got it. Tyler Shoots, thank you. A shorty 10.5, 2 calzones, and a fresh open Sprite Zero. I'm not mad about the shorty 10.5 though, that's for sure. All right. Let's see here. Truth hurts. Everybody make sure you get your votes in on the Gundies for Clint. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. The Gundies are, again, in 2024. They're going to be at Vegas the night before SHOT Show kicks off. This will be after range day. And if I'm giving you my unconfirmed, but what I believe is going to be happening schedule for SHOT Show, it's going to go something like this. There's a lot, and I haven't signed any NDAs, so I don't think I have to worry about events. Sig and Beretta are hosting their event on Sunday, so obviously we're going to be covering both of those events and any other event that might be popping off. Monday night, or Monday I should be saying, that's the industry day at the range. So you guys are going to be seeing a lot of range day coverage there. But Daniel Defense is also hosting an exclusive range day. I think this is the first time that Daniel's doing this, in recent history at least. So your boy's going to be part of that. You already know. All right. And then Monday night, there's going to be all sorts of after parties and things like that. But what we're going to be hosting the red carpet event for is, of course, the Gundies. Just like what we did last year at Drive Tanks, this year it is at SHOT Show. And yes, yours truly has been nominated again for the most influential male, which blows my mind when you think about all the other people out there. I did win last year. Thank you to all who voted. And the second category I was nominated for was most entertaining content creator, which that one I am sure I'm not going to win. But thank you to all who nominated. Y'all are ridiculous. I appreciate every last one of you. It's a lot of fun. And if you guys aren't familiar with what the Gundies are, imagine if you watch The Office, the Dundies, the Gundies. But the Gundies is, the way I look at the Gundies is it's ultimately a really fun popularity contest for anybody and everyone involved in the Second Amendment community. It's just fun. And of course, it's a great way to make a lot of contacts too, and to meet all sorts of wonderful people that are actually, a lot of people, not everybody, some people just use the Second Amendment to make money, while there are a lot of other voices that actually support the Second Amendment and fight for the Second Amendment, all right? So really cool stuff to be seeing there. So thank you, Truth Hurts, for that, and I'm really looking forward to it this year. It's going to be nuts. And the Circle Bar is walking distance from where the Gundies is going to be happening, and whew, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, all right? So there you go. Let's get back on over here. I think I saw another super chat come on in from Adam Goins. Thank you so much, Adam. Appreciate you. And then we've got Rick Castro. Clint, what are your thoughts on Riley Defense Rack 47s? For basic AKs, they're not bad. They're not bad little AKs. They're going to do what you want them to do, and that's pretty much how I feel about that. Riley's never steered me in the wrong way. I've shot quite a few of them, put a few rounds down range. We carry those, and it's nothing I've ever had anything bad to say about before. Like I said, basic AK, solid. Nothing bad, nothing, no negatives there, right? Of course, anybody else have any other experiences with the Riley Defense AKs? Let us know. And also, I am not against having an AK for a truck gun, right? 760 by 39, great cartridge, and I think it would make an absolute awesome solution or option for your vehicle loadout. Just throwing that out there, all right? So let's get back over here. Magdump NC, less government, more freedom. Love that. What's up, Clint? What's up with you, Magdump, North Carolina? I feel you. That's what I'm talking about. Scott, the Prussian Rash, good to see you again, man. The prodigal Marine. That's funny. Present. And let's see here. Keith Decker, I missed the California shenanigans. I did see Clint was drinking beer, LOL. Yeah, Corona is what we had laying around. We got told that a majority of our guests liked light beers and bourbon. So that was me having a little bit of water with my, we had Buffalo Trace on hand. We had Noah's Mill on hand. And, bullet bourbon, because, you can get that anywhere, and it's not a bad affordable option. So, those are a couple of good ones to have on hand, right? There's Otter again, waving. Thank you, everybody. And let's see here. Gat Mage, wife lets me keep overtime money for guns, nods, and etc. That's pretty sweet. I miss the days of overtime. I'm not going to lie. That's for sure. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Let's see here. Benjamin Falkenberg, I like how we're asking if something too much with Clint of all people. That is pretty ironic, right? Because do I drive around with body armor in my vehicle and a get home bag and probably my Mark 18 and a secondary pistol in my get home bag? Yeah. Is that too much? I'm asking, right? If you ask me like on a road trip, like a long trip, I don't think that's too much. I think that's great. You know what I mean? So like I said, you guys let me know. You let me know what you think, all right? So there you go. Keith was saying too, 1 minute to my favorite 2 hours of the week. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Keith. And I just want to let you know, unfortunately, I'm going to be keeping this one a little bit shorter because I got stuff to do. All right. So thank you though. That means a lot. And I appreciate every last one of you. And let's see, next week is the 11th. Is that right, guys? Okay, calendar. Next week is the 11th. Wow. We are getting really close to the 12 days of Christmas already. So that's pretty wild. And yeah, forgive me for being late. Like I said, had to handle a couple of things. No worries though. We're all here. And I was not falling asleep. I promise you that. All right. Thank you for waiting. Appreciate you, Jessica Simp 44. Your top five favorite guns are the FN Mini-Me. I think we know that. The Colt M4 Kalashnikov AK Dragunov SVD and the Colt 1911 Defender. Well, I mean, that's a solid lineup. I mean, I have nothing wrong with that there. Gio, what's up with you, man? Good to see you. We've got Jamin Shelby Sigler. Good to see you. What's up with you, Devil Dog? Semper. We've got Brendan Borg. What's up, Clint? What's up with you? Lock and load time. Absolutely. And having a good time over here. Crunchy Taco, good to see you again as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was, if you guys saw on Instagram, I think Kaya posted the picture. It was in fashion for the range, Terran's range that we were shooting at, to have a rainbow, like a perfect rainbow. Two, in matter of fact. Even the ranges in California have rainbows. It was pretty funny. You know, it was pretty funny. So yeah, go check out that photo there. And the Terran Tactical visit was pretty cool. Meeting a lot of the people behind the scenes that actually make a lot of those guns come to life is very cool. Terran, as you guys saw from one of our previous podcasts with him, a unique individual, to say the least. The man can shoot. He was shooting a plate rack. And, I did have the fastest time at 3 seconds and 83 seconds, 3.83 seconds, clearing 6 plates on the plate rack, right? And Lex, I think, was second fastest with 422. And then Terran comes in from the hip, 188. It makes no sense. The man can shoot. I can give him that much credit, so it's wild. And Super B-Dog 1 10mm pistol. That is a video I am recording this week, finally. The FN 510 sitting at that one right there. I'm not touching it, YouTube, so so don't cancel me, okay? That video is going to be coming out this week, as long as I can get my hands on all of my 10mm ammo. Yeah, of course I can. But I just want to make sure that, I've got some left over for me, right? But yeah, so be looking out for that video here within the next couple weeks or so once I finally get it all done. All right, there we go. Cool. Let's see here. Illuminicos Diakos. My furniture's going to start floating. USP for car. HK USP. Great pistol. And so I'm not gonna argue against that, right? So that's awesome. And let's see here. Joshua Ranks, thank you for tuning in tomorrow. What's up? Can't wait to listen to this at work tomorrow. Love the live chats. Appreciate it, Joshua. And for those of you that might be tuning in after the live stream, that's okay. Feel free to catch this video a little bit later, whenever it is, right? Because it'll be around. So there you have it. And I can go back in a little bit later here too and find maybe last week's live stream and answer some of the comments that come across through there. All right. But let's get on over here Let's get to a couple more. I think I saw a couple more super chats come through, which I greatly appreciate. Again, thank you, Rich Brown. Appreciate you so much for that super chat. We've got Joe over here again. Thank you, Joe. You are Joe. I am Joe. Everybody's Joe. 8-inch 300 blackout suppressed fails to feed. Do I need a heavier or lighter buffer? Picks up the cartridge, but gets jammed before it makes it in the chamber. I don't recognize that number. They can leave a voicemail. Let's see here. 8-inch 300 blackout suppress fails to feed. So if it's failing to feed, in my mind, it's having enough to extract, but not enough to pick up. Are you able to tell? I need to see a picture, right? Because if it looks like the bolt is still over the brass, but the previous round's been extracted, it looks like it had enough to extract, but not enough to pick up. So it could be a gassing issue. You might need a little bit more gas. However, if it seems like it's just doesn't have the oomph to pick up the next round, you might be too heavy in the buffer. So too heavy? I might need to think about that one. So let me know what the comment section thinks too, because that's what I feel like is happening there. All right. But picks up the cartridge but gets jammed before it makes it in the chamber. Yeah, see, that's... Maybe it's too light then. So picks up the cartridge but gets jammed. So it must be an orientation thing. Like, how's it getting jammed? Is it getting caught on the lip of the chamber? Like, where's... I need a picture, Joe. I know it's hard to do that here on the live stream, but help somebody else help Joe out here. Maybe you guys are catching something that I'm missing, but ultimately I'm going to need to see a picture. I'm sorry. But thank you, Joe, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Jimmy Issa, new to the channel, love the content of all the classic firearms, classic F-arms. Keep up the goods work, and God bless you. Will do, Jimmy. Whew. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the support of the channel, and welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy all the content we're throwing up here, because we throw up a lot of content, all right? Rich Brown over here. Coming in with a thank you again for another super chat, Rich. Which is better, Sig Rattler or Maxim PDW and 300 blackout? Oof. So they're two different beasts in my mind. If I were going to have one for like a vehicle loadout, like the topic of tonight's live stream, they both get pretty compact, but the Sig is probably going to get more compact because it doesn't need a buffer system, a buffer tube. It utilizes a short stroke piston driven system, which if I'm going to be running suppressed, I would probably prefer that, because it might run a little bit cleaner, because of how short these barrels are that we're talking. But the Maxim PDW is also really cool. I think it's the PDX, MDX. They got all these different DXs. I keep forgetting which one's which. But, oh, man, I'm going to go with the Rattler on this one. You guys let me know if you think I'm right or wrong. Comment section, light it up. Let's see it over here. Rich, thank you so much for the super chat. That's what I'm going with. We'll see. All right, we've got Kryptonian. Thoughts on an M41 SSR MAVAW for home defense? That is quite the title. All right, so M41... Is anything going to come up for me? What was that long M41 SSR? Let's see here. SSR. Let's see what this little surface-to-surface rocket medium anti-vehicle Halo. Duh. Okay, I'm over here thinking, I don't recall an M41. Is that some sort of variant of the M40? Like that, I don't think a bolt-action rifle would be a good idea. But for Halo, in this case, the M41 surface-to-surface SSR, surface-to-surface rocket, medium anti-vehicle assault weapon. Wow. Well, anyway, I think that one justifies an anyway usage. I would say probably not great for home defense, unless your idea of home defense is you don't have a home to defend because you've leveled it, then, solid, right? It's kind of like it's not a hostage situation if you kill all the hostages, right? Wouldn't recommend, but you get my point. Micah, thank you so much for the super chat as well. Appreciate all you guys. And we've got Rockhurst22. Thank you for the super chat as well. How do the Walker Firemax muffs compare to the Razors? How is the noise floor, as the Razors is pretty high in my opinion? The Firemax are awesome. I'm definitely a fan of them. Obviously, they're a little bit bulkier when they sit at your ears. And they're not Bluetooth capable, but they do have, and as you could tell from some of my videos, I've got the little headset so I can talk. You know, it's just a walkie-talkie ultimately, which is great for when you're recording and filming and you need, you know, somebody's downrange, or you can, hey, are you good? You know, ceasefire continues, range still cold, range hot, all that type of stuff. And you can get that over everybody's ears. And in fact, we're probably going to keep a bunch of those on hand for anytime we have guests on to the show or whatever, just so everybody's in communication. But the Firemax I've liked a lot. The Razors I've had for a long time as well. And, you know, I think I've shot 50 cals with the Firemaxes. I don't know. It gets to the point where with like Electronic Ear Pro, it's going to hurt, you know, when you get to that level of concussion. So that's why going in ear with like the little orange foamies or whatever, probably honestly the best, and over the ear at that point. So, you know, there you go. How do they compare? I think the Firemax technology might be a little bit better than the Razors. So I'll leave it at that. All right. So there you go. Thank you, Rockhurst22, for the super chat. Got another one from Big Trev. Thank you. Clint, MPX or MP5 for a truck gun? Oh, man. Look, everybody loves the MP5, all right? No doubt about it. But the MPX has better ergonomics and better controls. The MPX, and it also gets more compact. The MPX makes more sense. But if you want to have the aesthetic and the cool factor, the MP5. There you go, right? Makes sense to me, okay? I'm going to get to a couple more of the super chats, and I'll hop right back on over to the live chat here, so bear with me, guys. Thoughts on the Taurus GX4? You know, thank you, Ghost199, for the super chat. I know Taurus gets made fun of a lot, but when you think about it, they're actually producing, like the GX4, like some pretty decent guns for the price point. I don't know about the reliability in this case, and Taurus has their reputation and whatnot, but at the end of it all, it's like, I don't think they're bad guns. You know, I mean, that's just me. Now, granted, the very first Taurus Judge that I owned, the gun fell apart in my hands. Like, literally, I just popped the cylinder out, and then a bunch of little pieces came out, and then I just had the cylinder in one hand, the frame in the other, and a bunch of little screws and springs. And I was like, well, I don't think this was supposed to happen. And it wasn't. And then I got, like, an upgraded model of the Taurus Judge, and it ran great, you know? So that was... I really wanted one of those 410 revolvers, all right? And then I got the Smith & Wesson Governor, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is doesn't look as cool in my mind, but, you know, it's better. But as far as the GX4 goes, I think it looks like a decent gun, especially for the price. However, with that being said, I haven't shot it. I don't have hundreds of rounds down range with it like I typically like to have before I say, oh, here's my experience with it, and it's solid. I can't say that about this gun because I don't have that experience. But because it's Taurus, they're sold everywhere. You can find them everywhere. And yes, I've handled it. I've synced it. Just haven't shot it. Not to the point where I'm comfortable saying get it. You know what I mean? So I hope that explains that there. We've got Mike over here. Check the O-rings. That's a good response to, where are you? Joe, listen in here. Micah's got something good here. Check the O-rings and see if they are worn. I had the same issue, and it was an $11 fix with some new O-rings on the bolt. You know, I never really think about the O-rings. Thank you, Micah, for mentioning that. Appreciate that, all right? And thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Sam Kirby, that's pretty sweet. Little Dodge Viper action there in your picture. Nice. Off topic, but what do you think about the Go Safe Act? Oh, shit. You know, that is one of the ones where I have failed to look into. The Go Safe Act limits is a... Oh, God. Well, all right. Just Heinrich, Senate.gov, okay? having not looked into what the Go Safe Act is, just the very first couple of words, this vocabulary turns me off almost immediately. Now, obviously, I'm going to continue to read and get a better understanding of what the Go Safe Act is, but the Go Safe Act is a common sense, here it is, proposal designed to protect communities from gun violence. That first sentence, how would that come off to you guys if you don't know anything about the Go Safe Act? The Gas-Operated Semi-Automatic Firearms Exclusion Go Safe Act. Wait. Hold on. The Go Safe Act is a common sense proposal designed to protect communities from gun violence while safeguarding Americans' constitutional right to own a firearm for legitimate self-defense, hunting, and sporting purposes. Are we going to get into what the Second Amendment's about? What our constitutional right is about? It's not just for self-defense. It's not just for hunting and sporting purposes. Need I say more? The three things that you listed is not what the Constitution's all about. Self-defense is one thing. Defense from a tyrannical government is another. Check yourself, Heinrich. Regulate sale, transfer, and manufacture of semi-automatic firearms. You lost me, dude. No. Obviously, this is going to be one that I'm going to be writing to our representatives. Again, I just did it once today for the son of a bitch. There's so many. GOA came out with the thing. The ATF agent that takes over Gun Owner of America's YouTube, Sin Banderson. It's our buddy Ben, right? Go check out their stuff. They keep us up to date on everything. But the Go Safe Act regulates firearms based on the inherently dangerous and unusual lethality of their internal mechanisms, as opposed to focusing on cosmetic features that manufacturers can easily modify. Oh, in other words, it's not just a fin or a bayonet lug that we're regulating anymore. If enacted, the bill would regulate the sale, transfer, and manufacture of gas-operated semi-automatic weapons by establishing a list of prohibited firearms, preventing unlawful modifications of permissible firearms, mandating that future gas-operated designs are approved before manufacture, and preventing unlawful firearms self-assembly and manufacturing. In the words of the Firearm Policy Coalition, fuck you, no. Come on, dude. Exemptions include 22 caliber rimfire or less firearms. As I say, be careful there because ARs would be excluded. Bolt-action rifles, semi-automatic shotguns, recoil-operated handguns, any rifle with a permanently fixed magazine of 10 rounds or less, any shotgun with a permanently fixed magazine of 10 rounds or less, any handgun with a permanently fixed magazine of 15 rounds or less. What the hell? Endorsements. Yeah, let's see that. Let's see who endorses this. Yep, Brady. Couldn't see that, right? Let's see here. Giffords. Everytown. The Sandy Hook Promise Action Fund. Executive Director of Moms Demand Action. I'll say it one more time. If you have kids in the room, I'm sorry. Fuck you, no, dude. So those are my thoughts on the Go Safe Act. I think we probably spent too much time on that one. But it's also good because I synced it, but I didn't go out there to actually do the research. And so bad on me. That's something that I should have done from the start. I'm glad you brought it up here, though, because hopefully for all of you that might watch this, now you're educated too. So contact your representative, just like I will be doing as well, and saying, do not support this anti-gun, anti-constitutional stuff. Like this type of legislation is absolutely ridiculous. So, no. What do I think of it? I think it's a load of shit. All right. So, Nate Smith, thank you for the super chat. Sam, thank you. It's not off topic, man. Anytime we're talking about preserving our Second Amendment rights, that's not off topic on this channel, okay? Especially if you're educating me. Thank you. So, Nate Smith, thank you for the super chat. TT33 is greater than any other pistol. Okay. If you say so. All right. Let's get over here to Alex Turner. And the TT33 is pretty cool, so Tokarev. Alex Turner, thank you for the super chat as well. Hey, Clint, what do you think about the POF P415 Edge? How does it stack up to other short stroke piston guns? The P415 and POF just makes a good gun. I like that in the piston-driven world, they've been kind of doing it for quite some time already, and they just make decent guns. You know, sometimes I think their rails are a little thick, but that's just because that's their design to house the operating system. So as far as the P415 Edge goes, again, just like before, I'm sorry, not having a lot of experience shooting the gun. From what I know about POF, I would have no issue personally owning one. So that's what I think about that, all right? Then we've got the Unit BSV2. Appreciate it. Will you do me a favor and tell my friend Seth to stop putting so many attachments on his builds? This is an intervention. You came to my live stream and you thought it'd be a good idea for me to publicly host this intervention for your friend Seth because you think he should stop putting on so many attachments on his builds. When I take a 7-pound out-of-the-box rifle and turn it into a 13-pound rifle and justify it in my own mind, I'm with your friend Seth. Okay, all right. Now, in actuality, I'm not against your friend Seth. The Unit BSV2, explain to me what the attachments are. Because if there are reasons behind the attachments, then I can be for it, right? I've got some guns that honestly just have an optic on them. Some that just have iron sights, like the little DSA FAL. It's a whole vibe, you know what I mean? And like my M16 clone over here. This is, I mean, obviously a bayonet. You know, there's that attachment. Vertical grip, ACOG. Nothing else. You know what I mean? My Meridian Defense Pestilence that's sitting over here just has the optics rail on it, and I got a Trigicon RMR on it. And yes, a dong. And a Yankee Hill flash hider and all that stuff, you know. So it depends on what he's throwing on there. If he's throwing on like a side-mounted bipod so he could better grab like a wall, then yeah, I'd say that's a little ridiculous, you know. So, but if he's got a light, a suppressor, a pressure pad for his light, and an IR integration, and then he has, let's say, maybe an optic with an offset or an additional optic, maybe magnified versus non-magnified. I mean, that shit's pretty sexy to me, dude. You know what I mean? Like, especially if he's shooting night vision. If he's got lasers and stuff, IR, and he doesn't even have night vision, then maybe this is an intervention. But at the end of it all, let your boy live, all right? So, unless he's got Tapco furniture on an SKS. All right, cool. Continuing on over here, Micah, don't forget the Guard Dog body armor. Guard Dog body armor is absolutely right. Obviously, I run the hell out of those guys. I may have just gotten my all-white plate carrier in from Guard Dog. So stay tuned for some fresh-looking, like, I want to do a post when it snows out here. Like, can you find the plate carrier? And then maybe we, you know, give it away to the first person that finds it or something. That would be kind of fun. That'd be kind of fun. I'll ask Guard Dog if they'd be down for that. You know, just throw that idea for them. I won't charge them for that. All right, there we go. But yeah, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Jim 6043. Did you see the new Smith & Wesson MMP spec with the compensator? She's beautiful. There's all sorts of things. Look, consider me out of the loop for like the past couple of weeks due to everything, you know, travel and all that stuff that's been going on. So the Smith & Wesson MMP spec I have not seen. Yeah, I need to get this Go Safe Act off of my computer screen before it, you know, glitches or, you know, something, whatever. Let's see, SW spec. Well, that's going to bring me something I don't really care. So there's the Metal 2.0. Wow. Okay. Wow, MSRP $1,000 too for an optics ready MMP. This thing looks sweet. It comes with a little knife too. How about that? Isn't that cute? Okay, Smith & Wesson. For MSRP of $1,000, you get compensated pistol, metal framed M&P, obviously, M&P 9, 2.0. Solid. Looks like a couple of magazines, perhaps 3 magazines, 2 23-round magazines, and 4. So you get 2 23-round mags and 2 17-round mags. A karambit-style knife. Smith & Wesson has their little knives. Okay, whatever. It's cool that it's coming with one. The core plate system, so it's optics ready, and it looks like their suppressor height, co-witness sights already as it is. Suppressor height sights, perfect. All right, this looks pretty neat. I'll share this really quick. Let me share my screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing, because this is an attractive little pistol. Let's see here, and I'll get you guys to tell me what you think and whatnot and there and whatever. So let's see here. Where the hell is it? Present, share screen, share, pop. There it is. All right, so let me hide the comment really quick. You guys take a look at this. Let me know what you think. But yeah, there it is. Right, that looks pretty dope. Yeah, I'm a fan. Screw your cookies, dude. So, threaded barrel with compensator attached, strategic ports, new compensator designed by Faxon. That's cool. Partnership with Smith & Wesson gives you noticeably less felt recoil, as well as muzzle flip, meaning faster follow-up shots and good target acquisition, aggressive slide design, optimized for accessories, blah, blah, blah. Hey, for $1,000 MSRP, so you'll find this somewhere in the $800 market probably. I think that's pretty dope. Let me know what you guys think. I think I think we may have come out with our Top Guns of 2023 a little too soon. You know what I mean? Yo, hold up. They make a compact for $7.99. How about that noise? Spec series. It doesn't look like it has a comp, but, threaded barrel still. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So you guys let me know what you think about that. I think it's pretty sweet, all right? So thank you, Jim, for that one. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Sin526, thoughts on bullpups. I think bullpups are cool, right? I think bullpups are pretty neat, but at the end of it all, there's pros and cons to each platform. I think you should have a bullpup and a traditional style rifle. So there you go. Okay. We've also got Rawls 7s. Rawlsons. Thanks, Clint, for the great content you and your team put out. I'm building a Mach 12. Nice. And I was looking at an FN CHF barrel. Is it worth it? FN makes a great barrel. FN makes a fantastic barrel, and I think you'll be very happy with its performance in your Mach 12. And I love me some Mach 12 action, all right? So solid choice there. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Wes, for the super chat as well. Let's get back on over here to the live chats because I know I've missed like a lot of them here. But the Barefooted Gardener, good to see you. That's a beautiful pistol. That's what I thought as well. So, cool. Yeah. Glenn Cravat, I like the Cerakote color. That's good. Let's see here. Kelly Crop Dot, Classic Farms. What about that? Ooh. Good recommendation. What about that versus the Canik SFX Rival steel frame? Hell yeah. That sounds like a really good comparison video there. So there you go. Super B-Dog 1 says, take the comp off, good to go. Yes and no, right? To each their own. For me, if I was carrying it, I'd probably take the comp off. But if I was just running it like any other gun, I'd probably keep the comp on because, cool points, right? This looks cool. And looking cool is a majority of the battle. All right, so there you go. Let's see here. An amazing shit hits the fan sidearm. Left mouse looks crazy good regardless. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thanks, Jose. Appreciate it. There you go. I have the same setup, David Reed. I have the same setup, but without the compensator. So, yeah, there you go, right? There you go. Let me back up a little bit here. And Derek Warkemper, Clint goes to the chiropractor 3 times a week because of the Mark 18. I actually do need to go to the chiropractor. It's not because of the Mark 18, though, right? So, there you go. Phil Rizzuto. Level 3, 3A, or level 4 plates. What's your preferred plate level? What am I getting shot at with? That's pretty much how I feel about that. So if you're talking about, if you're going back to the vehicle loadout mindset and having some plates there, I personally don't mind level 4s. Yeah, they can get pretty heavy and hefty in price as well, but they're going to stop a lot. But I also like the idea of being a little bit more agile, right? So level 3, which is still stopping 7.62 NATO, I'd feel pretty good about that, but I also just don't want to get shot, But if that unlikely moment occurs, take a look at what you're most likely going to get shot with. Most crime today is actually committed when it comes to firearm usage with pistols, right? So perhaps level 3A would be something good enough. But if you're like me, good enough just simply isn't, right? So level 3 at least for me, because if somebody does bring a rifle into the game, then I'd like to be prepared for that. But I also, pros and cons, where do you want your compromise to be? I'd like to stay agile on my feet. I'd like to not be so quickly fatigued. So level 3, right? That's typically where I'd like to be. But if your cardio is good, if you train and practice, level 4 get you the best protection. That's all there is to it. So level 4 is the best in that aspect. It just makes sense, right? Jessica Simp also agrees, level 4. So there you go. When are you doing the video FN510 versus a SIG X10? I don't want to say next week. It's got to be the next time that Aaron and I are together, because he's such an X10 fanboy, and I like that 510. So we're gonna figure that one out. All right. So there we go. Let's see here. No, my Mark 18 does not weigh at least 20 pounds. All right. I haven't weighed it recently, but I think it's like it's got to be like 12 pounds, somewhere in there, perhaps, maybe. Okay. So 12-pound loaded Riz 3. Clint, that is my M4A1. My M4A1, with everything that I typically have on it, is about a 12-pound rifle. Yeah. It's heavy, all right? Zachary, what's up? Good to see you. Zachary Zamora. Rock on Seth, right? That's what I was saying. Our buddy Seth. Just go ahead there, throw on all the attachments. So there you have it, all right? Ferret, just going to reiterate that I'm doing the 510 video this week, so it'll be out in a couple of weeks or something like that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, there you go. All right. Okay. Let's see here. We got somebody that said they got the SIG TAC Ops from SIG. That's solid. Jessica Simp, 20-pound would be the Thompson with the 100-round drum. That is a heavy bitch. That's for sure. But it's also freaking cool, okay? Yo, bro, love your channel. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that, Bob. I got a couple more super chats coming in on over here, which, again, are greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate that. Let's see here. We got Wes last time. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. We've got Moses. I think that's right. Moises Medrano. Don't have Trijicon ARM R06 money, but what red dot would be good? Would be a good red dot for my Shadow Systems XR 920. So I know Hollow Sun gets like a lot of hate, but I'll be honest. I've got the 507 K2 or XK2, 507. It's on my nightstand. Jesus. I've got the 507. I think it's the XK2. I think that's what it is. And it's a great little red dot. I like it a lot. Nice, crisp reticle, and it just shows up very, very well. I'm a big fan of it. And it hasn't failed me, and I've got that on my 365. So it runs. So I don't have any issues with newer Hollow Suns. I mean, some of the Hollow Suns you could go back and look, and like mine doesn't have like the solar panel on it, but you can go back and see where like the solar panel sometimes would not be like straight and aligned. Just little nitpicky things like that. I don't know if it was Hollow Sun, but I think on like the reticles that have like the little crosshair, like the little circle cross thing, like sometimes it would be canted and not straight up and down. That would be bothersome, but also I don't typically like those reticles at all. So I would just switch it to the regular dot, and that makes me happy. That's fine. You can't really screw up a dot, Well, I shouldn't say that. So I would take a look at Holosun. If you're looking for more budget friendly too, and people that really stand behind their product, Vortex, Swamp Fox, even, these are great people that just stand behind their products and they just want to make some good stuff. So check those out. All right. Is there anybody else I'm missing? Somebody else help our friend here, Mr. Medrano. And let's see about that. All right. Jim6483, thank you for another awesome super chat. Appreciate it. 10 mil for bear defense, lighter bullet for high velocity for better penetration, or heavier bullet for stopping power. Also, FMJ or hollow point for bear defense. Yeah. I think hollow point, because of that initial trauma to the body, and you want that trauma, right? You want that devastation and that wound to be great. But bears can also have some really thick fur, and they can fill up that cavity pretty quick. So before it penetrates deep enough to actually get into some major damage, so FMJs might be a better option for you if bear defense is truly something that you're having to look at. That's again, I want to hear everybody else's on this. I'm not a freaking experienced bear defense expert, whatever, but that's my mind. FMJ I'd probably want for the penetration, more likely hit a vital or something like that, that's going to ultimately incapacitate that animal, because it will kill you. Bear attacks have happened. So there you go. And so, to each their own. I typically like heavier bullets, just to get, again, more of that impact. But some people really like the lighter bullets for that higher velocity, but we've noticed through testing and things like that, they disintegrate. They may not penetrate as deeply and things like that. So, everybody else, it's a personal preference thing. Let me know what you think. But I would think a FMJ, a little bit heavier bullet, plus P even, just throw that on there to get that deep penetration, if you will, So there you go. Thank you, Jim, again for the super chat. Jimmy, what are your thoughts on under $1,000 night vision optics? If they work, they work. So are you talking about like helmet stuff, like mounted stuff to a gun? Because there are options out there that run pretty damn good. Like those AGM Neaths that we were running during the bulk gun series. I don't know how much those are right off the top of my head, but I don't think they were $1,000 optics. I don't think. Maybe they were, but I don't know. But that stuff works. So as long as you're getting from a reputable brand, I don't think you have too much to worry about. But you're also not going to be wanting to, I wouldn't use that as going underwater and really beating up on that type of stuff, So that's just personal preference there. All right. The Barefooted Gardener, thank you again for the super chat. How do you switch the reticle on a Holosun? If it has the capability, I think you just hold. I think it's the up button. It's either the up or the down button. You just hold it, and then that'll switch the reticle. One sometimes switches the color. The other one switches the reticle. It depends on which optic you have and what it's capable of doing. That's all. So... but yeah, thank you for the super chat. Random login name, by the way. Thank you as well. I've got a chance at a new Daniel Defense V7 16-inch for around $720. Worth picking up. If so, what lower should be thrown on it? Upper receiver. Got it. Okay, so it's just the upper. I thought you were talking about a complete rifle for $720, and my initial question would be, what's wrong with it? The Daniel Defense V7. Also, the DDM4 V7, probably a solid little rifle too for a vehicle, but you're thinking full length, right? I'm surprised nobody's really talked about PCCs. I know you talked about 300 Blackout and you talked about the MPX, So, but are other people thinking about the CZ Scorpion as a potential one? Let me know what you guys think about that. I know they're a little bit heavier on the recoil because it's just a direct blowback system. But they're a lot of fun, and they run, But the MPX, much softer shooting. I get that, so there's that. But as far as just the upper goes for the V7, man, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually a solid deal or not. I haven't really looked at just uppers, and I know you can get some good uppers out there. I mean, $720, that's a lot, you know? Like, would I say that's a good deal? I don't know, but maybe I'm too far removed. Because when you think about, because it's new, a new V7, because you got to think about how much those guns cost. Complete, a new out of the box. I mean, you're looking at a $2,000 gun, so, and they are solid barrels. Everything's made in house, which is nice. Their rails are fantastic. We already know that, and they're solid shooters. You know you're getting quality. So, and if you were to go that route, what lower should you throw on it? I mean, you know, I love me some ambi controls, right? So ADM, I'd look at an ADM. I'd even look at the Radian if you wanted to, you know, go that direction. But the ADM, I think, would probably be a solid option. So that's what I would feel. That's what I would feel there, right? Let me get over to the regular chat really quick. I see a couple more super chats coming through, and I really appreciate all you guys. Just don't want to, don't want to miss out on too much of the live chat over here. And Saint the Realist, F the Go Safe Act. That is exactly how I feel about that. So, yeah. Mork says he's very curious about Guard Dog. We've got plenty of videos out there where we test their products. We shoot the crap out of them, and they hold up. We've also got some firsthand, put it this way. We know some people that have been shot with Guard Dog body armor, and they are here to tell the tale. I've been trying to get a couple of them on the podcast, so just stay tuned, okay? So we're on that one there. There you go. Let's see here. Saint the Realist, it's like people keep trying to make 2A weak to help them feel safe against us, the group that actually follow the law. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Us law-abiding citizens are the ones that we're the ones that pay at the end of the day, you know, because criminals, again, preaching to the choir, I know I am, but criminals, they don't what? They don't abide by the law. So where does that leave us? Big slinking. Oh, Clint. What'd I do? I don't know. What'd I do? Did I do something? I don't know. I want all the attachments. Please don't say the Mark 18. You already knew I was going to say that. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Yep. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All right. Let's see over here. Philip, did you miss the vehicle loadout discussion? You didn't really miss it. We've been kind of going back and forth talking a little bit about it and what is too much. And that's ultimately comes down to the comment section in the live chat. What do you guys think is too much? Do you think having, and we're talking, you know, everybody's subjective here because it's ultimately, it wouldn't make sense for me to have what I have on me in my vehicle, stuff like that, if I'm going to a 9 to 5. I'm not going to be, you know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to leave body armor in my vehicle. I don't want to leave, you know, a rifle and all this type of stuff. And it's not like I can just carry this into a typical 9 to 5. Now, some of you might be able to. Me, for instance, it's not uncommon for me to walk into the warehouse in full kit. Nobody bats an eye. They look and they're like, yeah, it's Clint. If you were to do that, you know, at the bank that you work at, then, you know, things probably wouldn't go over too well, right? So there you have it. But if you're in the gun industry, maybe some people are like, oh yeah, you know, you just come on in. You know, my buddy that works over at Agency Arms, you know, they post up pictures all the time of them, you know, clearing their warehouse and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. You know what I mean? So there you go. Yeah. Back to the Go Safe Act. Nice little nugget of gold there. It's a semi-auto firearm ban, plain and simple. Yes, it is, and it's bullshit, and you guys should all contact your representatives about saying no to this. Absolutely no to this. This is ridiculous. Yeah, communists. So, no, hard pass. Yeah, screw it. That's all there is to it. All right? Okay. Let's see here. Get back over to a couple more because I am going to be ending it short today, guys. Because like it's been a long couple of days, and it would be very nice to just go and relax for a bit, put a movie on with the missus, and just hang out for a little bit, you know. So, but here's a very important question. Ryan McClure. I like your icon, you know. Hey, Clint, are you a GTA fan? Did you see the trailer for GTA 6? Yes, I did. I saw it. Yeah, but I got texted that pretty quick. And so, you know, let me know what you guys think about that. I'm pretty excited about it. And let's talk about this really quick. First of all, would 45 ACP rifle be something that should be explored more? I have one. It's a Marlin Camp. It takes 1911 magazines. It's really cool. It's left to be by my dad, and it's something that I need to show on the channel more, I think, because it's really cool. So we'll talk about that. But here's what I really want to talk about. Ben Falkenberg. This is a joke that it drives me nuts, right? I lost all those semi-auto firearms in a boating accident. Yeah. You know, because if we get to the point where we have to say we're losing something in order to maintain possession of it because some tyrant decided what was legal yesterday is no longer legal today, we shouldn't be losing anything. We should be exercising our Second Amendment rights, right? And our right to protest and every other right that we have in our book before anything turns to violence. I want to go ahead and make that very clear. I don't advocate for violence. What I advocate for is the exercising of our rights. And though we try, there's still so many representatives, so many entities at large that just ignore the will of the people. It's ridiculous. And here we are. And this is something that I like. I don't know how I really feel about Vivek Ramaswamy. I hope I pronounced that right. But I like what he has to say because, first of all, if he has the balls to say that pretty much all three-letter agencies should go bye-bye, then okay, I'll hear what you have to say. Because you don't say something like that in politics especially and expect to not be targeted in a sense, right? Especially with the weaponization of the DOJ and everything else that we've currently got, right? So we should never have to use the term "I lost anything." They lost their seat, right? They lost their funding because of their tyrannical overreach, is what they should be saying. We didn't lose shit because we, the people, aren't taking it anymore. That's how I feel about that. Sorry, rant over. Okay. All right. That's how I feel about it. Okay. Oh, man. Spot on. 2A has to be shown and utilized along with all other constitutional rights for all Americans. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Interesting. Dark heart. Kind of like women rights. Women's rights. So, can you specify? I just legitimately. What rights of women have been stripped, essentially, away? I'm curious. Can you specify dark heart? I would like to hear what you have to say there. So, just let me know. Flying fighter, but ... There should be no but. Just curious. Let's see here. Oh, man. Brandon Melendez, also when you guys visiting Texas. We're in Texas at least a few times a year. And I think we need to make another visit relatively soon because it's been too long. We need to go see our buddy Brandon and see how he's doing, right? So, just curious, just curious about when that might be. So stay tuned. All right. Let's see here. Let me get back over. If we hear from Dark Heart, y'all let me know. And let me get back on over to some of the super chats that came through. Thank you all again so much for that. I want to see here where I need to go because of quite a few of them came in. Here we go. All right, Corey Smith, thank you so much. Upgrade to an EOTech or go for 5.56 suppressor. So if you don't have a decent optic, then I think probably the EOTech. But here's the second side of that thought. EOTechs will probably be around for a very, very long time, right? As of right now, they're not super heavily regulated, but you'll notice that a lot of different laser optics, holographics included, can become regulated very, very quickly. However, something that is already regulated and always up for grabs are suppressors. EOTechs, I feel like you'll be able to buy tomorrow. A silencer, I don't think would be guaranteed to be purchased tomorrow. So if you could go ahead and get your stamp in and your form in for a suppressor, that'd be great. Or build one your own, legally, of course, then go about doing that. But as much as I hate to say that, because the NFA shouldn't exist and you shouldn't have to spend a $200 tax to exercise your Second Amendment right, unfortunately you do. So there's that, right? But I would say in this case, probably go for a suppressor over the EOTech. Unless you don't have a quality optic, then probably get an EOTech in that case. All right. But thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Let's get on over to Dan McCauley. Thank you. My current 308 is an M1A. Nice. I like the M1A. I'm looking for a bolt action 308 as a backup for target shooting without breaking the bank. What would you recommend? What would I recommend? Ruger makes a great bolt action. You can take a look at Bergara. They make a great bolt action as well. One that always sticks out to me also, the Mossberg lineup is really, really solid. Tikka makes a solid bolt action as well. One that I would highly, highly recommend. Take a look at the Tikka series. And guys, help out our man Dan here. What are some of y'all's favorite 308 bolt action rifles as well? All right. Jim 6483, thoughts on the Mepper Light featuring bullseye sights. Are those the ones that come on the SIG anti-snag 365s? There's like no sight, but there's like a bullseye sight. If that's what that is, they're weird, right? They're obviously super low profile. Like you're not going to get snagged on anything, but they're very strange. For close quarters, I think it's a pretty nifty sight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's nifty. I haven't tried it out the distance, but maybe one day I will. But they're interesting. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. We've got Zachary over here. Zachary Zamora, thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Wish I could hook you up with more money, brother, because I've learned so much from you. Kaya and Classic Team, appreciate you all. Merry Christmas, by the way. What's your opinion on F1 firearms? I purchased the BDRX 15. So F1 makes some really Gucci stuff. They look high speed, they look crazy, and they're also really, really cool and fun. So, the F1, I think everybody should own an F1. I think I need to own an F1, right? So add that to the collection. Add that to the wish list. But F1's awesome, and thank you, Zachary, for the support. It really does mean a lot to me and the team, and we appreciate you. So thank you again. All right. And yeah, F1's badass. All right. Zach Helmet convinced me I shouldn't buy a Shadow MR 920 Elite. Convince you shouldn't? Yeah, that's not going to happen. You should definitely buy an MR 920 Elite. They're pretty freaking awesome, all right? Thank you for the super chat. Thank you also, Stephen Jones. What would be the best optic for my Echelon? Not too cheap, but killing the pocket. Okay. Too cheap in this case would be TOO, by the way. Bet you I am actually sometimes a grammar Nazi, especially when it comes down to the proper usage of two versus two. And, there, and there. And, They are there. Okay, so what would be the best optic for your Echelon? Not too cheap, but killing the pocket. We talked a little bit about different red dot optics already. We talked Holosun. The EOTech eFlex is one that I've been playing with also on the FN 510. You'll see that review kind of coinciding with the 510 later this week. Well, is when I'll be recording it. So that's another one to check out. Obviously, the RMR series is like the best. RMR HD is now a great one that's come out. And, I'll mention the 3 other manufacturers, too, that just run, in my experience, work really, really well. Vortex, Swamp Fox, and Holosun, right? Just check them out. There's different ones out there, especially their newer production stuff. And for each manufacturer, they're just good. They're just good. So there you have it. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Benji, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Benji, again, thank you. What buffer and buffer spring do you run in the Mark 18? I'll be honest with you. The buffer spring's still stock. I can't believe it either. And the buffer itself, at one point I threw an H3 in it, but I think it's an H2. I think I've got an H2 in it right now. I'll double check though, and I'm sure I'll mention it in another video. Thank you, Javier Palomino. What happens if the ATF finds my non-registered SBR? Well, you're asking as a hypothetical. That is very clear here. That's a hypothetical, and if the ATF finds your non-registered SBR, you are the potential is, well, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, 10 years in prison, and I think that one's only $10,000, but I actually don't remember if the ATF finds your non-registered SBR. So this is why it's kind of ridiculous, right? Obviously, abide by the law, because you don't want to find yourself screwed up like that, right? So the crazy thing about it is, though, it's not like a shorter barrel makes, especially the AR platform, any more lethal. It actually has the adverse effect. But just because it's now all of a sudden shorter than 16 inches, even if it's down to 14.5, right? It's not that big of a difference. But let's say you're a cloner and you want to have exactly what the military has, but in a semi-auto and as legal as possible, and you purchase a 14.5-inch barrel and you build out an M4 clone. And you were, let's say, just ignorant of NFA laws. Now all of a sudden you've committed a felony that could lock you up for some serious prison time if you were to get caught with that, by anybody willing to report to the ATF. That's the other thing, So, yeah, it's stupid at the end of the day. It's like, if I could honestly have a conversation with the director, Dettelbach, and just like sit down and like, look, dude, can you try to help me understand? Help me understand why you enforce these laws. And don't give me some spill. Give me the technical data as to how this makes this country safer. Explain it to me, please. And that'll never happen, right? Because we know what the ATF is. So I'd love for it to happen, though. I was actually in the same city as him, but unbeknownst to a lot of us, he was at the NRA annual meet last year, and there was some sort of, TED talk, if you will. He got up there and spoke. It was one of the most least covered and less known about speakers. Nobody knew that the director of the ATF was actually going to be on stage and speaking at the NRA annual meet. And I think it would have really done the NRA good if they were to advertise that everywhere. And that's probably why he actually did speak, because of how low coverage it was, how low key it was. But if they would have said everywhere,
Hey, NRA members, this is your chance to let your voice be heard by none other the head tyrant in charge. The well, okay, maybe not, but the ATF director. Again, Director Dettelbach, if you ever want to actually talk with somebody that's in the industry, that owns personal firearms, that has obeyed all the laws that you enforce, but yet somehow I still feel as though I'm getting trampled on, and there's so many criminals we see in the news that what happens? They become repeat offenders somehow, and they still somehow manage to acquire all of these firearms. I'm not going to call the guns illegal, right? But the criminals that are possessing them, yeah, right? Can we just have a conversation? Like, why? How is this country safer by what you and your organization do? Because you're locking up guys like Larry Vickers? What? The NRA missed an opportunity by saying, come let your voice be heard. Because we don't agree with what they're doing. If they would have done that, if they would have given the ATF as much shit as Gun Owners of America do on like a daily basis, I feel like I could have high-fived somebody in the NRA and been like, okay. But there's still, to me, kind of, I don't know. What do y'all do? What does the NRA do? When is the last time the NRA has done something that actually, prevented some anti-2A legislation from going through? Maybe I'm just turning a blind eye to it because I don't care to hear it, but maybe I need to be educated. So anyway, did you put this? Thank you for the super chat, but did you have to do that to get me riled up a little bit? Spooky thoughts on the Illinois. God dang it! Thoughts on the Illinois assault rifle magazine ban. Been stationed in Oklahoma the past few years and dreading my upcoming PCS to Illinois. Look, dude, I feel you, and thank you for your service and all that. But I know you're not excited about it. But here, if you guys have to ask me my thoughts. Let's put it this way. If it's a law centered around guns and somehow making something that's legal right now as of this moment illegal for either a certain population or the whole population, either of a locale, state, or nation, I'm not going to be for it. I'm not for the current laws on the books. So you don't really have to ask me. Thank you for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. But you don't have to ask me. My thoughts are it's ridiculous. My thoughts are these people don't know what an assault rifle is. You'll hear a little bit more, me get a little bit more into it on the podcast with Vince coming out later this week. But it makes me truly believe, like, with a lot of these different laws on the book, these criminals that are out here, repeat offenders and everything else, acquiring through whatever means necessary, whether stealing them or whatever, the same type of weapons that they're trying to make it illegal for you to own, it makes me feel as if policymakers want to kill you. Is that what's going on here? So, with that being said, do everything you can within your power of a law-abiding citizen to prevent these laws from coming into place, right? Let your voice be heard. Get out there, communicate, educate yourself like I need to do on the Go Safe Act and things like that. There's not much more I need to be educated on the Go Safe Act, actually. It's just an anti-semi-automatic rifle law. Like, it's stupid. So, there you go. Thank you, Spooky. Jake Morgan claims to be my cousin. What's up, Jake? Medical loadout for the vehicle. I actually would say absolutely. I always have that. I don't mind leaving in my car. Medical stuff, right? Like honestly, if somebody's going to steal it, maybe they needed it more than I did, whatever. But medical stuff, I definitely say I have a substantial trauma pack. I actually got like 2 or 3 with about 6 tourniquets that I keep in my vehicle. Now, granted, keep your tourniquets out of direct sunlight, stuff like that. It can compromise them over time. So can heat and change of temperature in the vehicle as well. So make sure your tourniquets, you rotate them out. I would say personally once every few years or so. Somebody that's a medical expert might say different, but it depends on where you live too. So medical loadout for the vehicle, absolutely. I have seen more devastating vehicle and non-vehicle accidents on the road where somebody is seriously injured outside of firearm usage, right? Like, I don't think I've actually seen, put it this way, I've seen more carnage through vehicle accidents than I have through gunfire, and that alone should tell you right now, get trained up, right? So that's another A I'm going to have to like figure out there. Get aided up, AID, get ammo, stay ammoed up, stay armored up, stay armed, stay agile, stay aided, right? So practice your first aid, but medical loadout for sure. Trauma pack is what I use. Love those guys. Awesome stuff. And guys, go ahead and stop at the super chats here. I'll go ahead and start calling it now. But CGR 2786, thank you so much. Have I ever shot the Mossberg 223 bolt action? You're talking about like the MVP. I think that one takes like the AR mags, whatever it is. Really cool design. With ammo, it was picky with ammo for me. And do you ever do events near the Uwari? Oh, wow. Love Uwari. I haven't really done any events near Uwari, but that's not to say we won't. And have I ever shot the Mossberg 223? Yes. It was picky with ammo. What do you mean? Like was it just having issues feeding the ammo? Was it having like what kind of issues? It's a bolt action. Like, I don't know. It could have been a mag issue even. If it's a feeding issue or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. But no, the Mossberg, like if it's the MVP 223, it's an awesome little freaking thing. All right, so there you go. Let's see here. Who do we need to ban? I see Pew Pew Daily. It's always good to see you, bro. Thank you, man. Oh God, Flying Fighter, favorite. Favorite firearm equals 2 high points. Michael Brower, and you'll never stop. Well, I'm just gonna give you the obvious answer. Mark 18. All right, there you go. My favorite firearm is whatever I bought last, assuming it was within the last 3 days. If longer, it's time to buy another one. Absolutely right. That's it there. Let's see here. Let me get back to this one. Big Slinking. Clint, criminals are not their enemy. You are. Clint, remember Chauvin, bro. Yeah, that's wild to think about at the end of it all. To be a criminal, in my mind, you have to commit a crime, typically. And in my mind, a crime has to have a victim. Victimless crimes, I don't think really exist, So for me to be looked at as the enemy, I just consider myself to be a very patriotic individual. I love this country. Don't really care for its government, but I would like to practice everything I can that our founders set forth, so that way I could perhaps change the government in a non-violent way, right? Like, that's the entire point of elections and everything else. But it's the same old, rinse and repeat type of thing. Like, I don't know, it might take them decades, but if they can slowly keep peeling back the fabric of what this country is and slowly keep peeling back our rights, and they've done that. They've done it successfully. I mean, ever since the 1930s, 1934, and then we had the Gun Control Act, and then, with the National Firearms Act, the Hughes Amendment, and there's so many others, and then, and it's not even just gun rights, right? There's all sorts of rights that are just being trampled on, right? Speaking of which, did Dark whatever the hell respond? I don't remember if anybody did. So yeah, I think it's good to about leave it
leave it there, guys. Keith Decker, if you aren't on the list, you aren't Americaning, right? Right. You know what? It's funny. Like, I think a lot of us in this live stream, you know, like, are just pro-American. You know, this is why I say we shouldn't help out Israel. This is why I say we shouldn't help out Ukraine and all these other countries that, you know, do, like, not to sound like an asshole, but like do what for us, you know? I mean, we're going to get involved in, we had a 20-year disastrous war in Afghanistan. We pull out of that like like we're trying not to get it pregnant, but we're way too late. And it's, you know, what the hell? And how many more American lives are going to have to die for some other rich man's war, dude? Like, I'm pretty freaking over it, you know? So that's that. I did see Darkheart. That's Darkheart. Sorry. If I can go back and find, this is gonna be a minute. This might be one of those where I'm gonna have to get back to it somewhere else. I wonder if I can, if anybody else can find Darkheart's response about specific women's rights, things like that. Let me know. Really quick though, Tim, Clint, are you going to do a video with T-Rex arms? That would be interesting to see. That would be interesting to see, wouldn't it? I think it would be. I definitely think it would be interesting to see. So, there you go. Aaron Pampo, hi Clint, finally caught the live stream. Appreciate it. As far as actually doing something with T-Rex arms, yeah, that would be cool. Probably not going to happen. I don't know. Lucas is a hard guy to lock down. Put it that way, all right? So there you go. Let's see. Adam84 has an interesting take. Women have more rights under the USA than anywhere else. I mean, let's see the response there, right? Let's see here. Hold up. Daniel just got a Razer HD 4.5 by 27 for his M82. So excited to shoot long range. Damn, Daniel. Daniel got the M82 up in here. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. And the Razer's going to be a solid little piece for that. I do believe that we gave away a pretty similar package to that, actually. So, yeah. Okay. I'm really trying to find... all right, let's see here. Pew Pew Daily, F1 Firearms got bought out and rebranded to Hightower Firearms or something like that. They don't really exist anymore. What? Are you serious? Well, Hightower Firearms. There's a guy that I served with. His last name was Hightower. He was special. We'll just leave it at that. So, oh well. But all right, I'll check it out. But let's see here. Darkheart, I'm not seeing it. My bad. But no, seriously, that's a conversation I'd like to have. So once this video gets locked down on the, the regular channel, feel free to comment there your response, and we can get to it, next time. No big deal. So I'll leave it off there, though. It's been about an hour and a half or so. I usually go about 2 hours or so, and I'd like to just kind of go ahead and, man, take it easy. Take it easy this Monday, right? So I'll leave it off there. And I think I got one more super chat that came through from Joe. Good night to all the Joes. Yeah, somebody's definitely got a Joe favoritism happening there. Darkheart, cool, appreciate it. Again, I'm not here, just to make this, I'm not here to bash anybody, but I'm definitely open to all mindsets and all political affiliations. So send this live stream to anybody that might be of a differing mind as well, right? Obviously, you're talking to somebody that's got, I don't even know if what I have any more conservative values. I just want to be left alone. I just want to be free, right? Every essence of the word, which I just don't think it's ever going to happen in my lifetime now, I mean, unless it's like really, really bad, just to be to practice liberty, you know? And I think that's how a lot of people would actually feel. But for whatever reason, there's, somebody over here saying that I need to, be free this way or something else, and it's just, it's pretty ridiculous, and, uh-oh, Tanner, sorry, Tanner, I missed your super chat. Oh, man. Oh, shit. Yes, I did. My bad, dude. Any idea when the next Bust Your Builds is coming out? Also, thoughts on Christian Arms BA Tactical Bolt Gun. It's called the Christian Arms Badass for a reason. You know what I mean? BA Tactical Bolt Gun. It's BA. It's badass, right? It's really nice. Next Bust Your Builds. Let's see. Next, well, I think we'll probably be recording it next week, so stay tuned, okay? But thank you, Tanner. I appreciate it. We also got one from Josh, Grayman style bag, full loadout with a rifle in it. That sounds like a solid build out to me. You know what I mean? There was actually a couple of super chats that I missed, so I'll get to these, and I'm calling it a night. Sorry about that, guys. And let's see here. We got the Echelon one talked about. Any experience with 300 Win Mag? Yes. What company do you recommend for one? I'm looking into the Remington 700. Remington 700 long action for the 300 Win Mag. We gave away the Mark 13 Mod H. Was that right? I think it was. Super phenomenal gun. Love the Mark 13, and that's ultimately a Remington 700 action. You can't go wrong with it. Solid option there, right? So thank you for that one, Brandon. Josh, yes, I like the Grayman style bag. Benji, appreciate it as well. Let's see. All right, cool. I think those are the ones I missed. All right, so good night to all the Joes from Joe. And there we have it. But yeah, ultimately, like I was getting at before, just wanted to say thank you guys for all tuning in from all different walks of life, of course. Everything that the 2A is open for everyone. If you're an American citizen, the 2A and all constitutional rights should be equally applied. That's all there is to it. Doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from. If you're an American citizen, that's all that matters. Now, what I start to get mad about is whenever somebody says, yes, but. Anytime there's a but, I don't give a shit what it is. Like, oh, hey, I believe in the First Amendment, but, you shouldn't say things about the president. Well, then you don't have a First Amendment. I believe in the First Amendment, but you shouldn't poke the bear when you're talking about these three-letter agencies. Then you don't have a First Amendment, right? I believe in the Second Amendment, but you shouldn't own semi-auto rifles. No. Then you don't believe in your God-given rights. You don't believe in what the Constitution has laid the groundwork for, right? The Constitution is there to protect you and to ultimately limit the government, right? So there's no buts with me when it comes to any of our individual rights. So that's that. And for any of you that have any questions about my thoughts on any legislation or laws, if it reads anything with common sense, typically it isn't common sense like the Go Safe Act. If it reads anything with common sense, if it reads anything regulation, no, I'm not for it. You go sign, seal, deliver that shit. I'm not for it. All right. So I'll leave it off there, guys. I know, right? And I appreciate all of you. Truly, I do. I'll read some more of the comments there. And Dark Heart, I'll try to find yours. But again, post your comment once this video is live. Appreciate all of you again for tuning in tonight on this Monday. And I'll talk to you guys next week, whether it be live stream or, obviously you'll find me on the channel. But of course on Instagram, magdump_Morgan, if you guys don't follow me there and you want to stay in touch and all that type of fun stuff. And yeah, I think that's about it, guys. God bless you, and I'll see you sometime next week or the following. That's like Christmas almost. My God. Wow, where did this year go? Freaking ridiculous. All right, I'll catch you guys soon. Have a good one. Pew Pew Daily, I see you. Thank you. Gio, see you. Thank you. Glenn, thank you as well. Good night, guys. See ya. Well, that was perfect timing. I guess my camera just died. All right, later, guys.